America has always been a great country. Not a perfect country, but a great country. But Obama's entire agenda is built on the belief that America is a terrible place, that its institutions are terrible, and that its people are terrible. When you want more and more centralized government and less liberty, that means you do not like the people. And so it is left to Obama, in his mind, to step in and use the power of the presidency in ways never contemplated by the founders or permitted in the Constitution. But he could care less. All of a sudden, silence from the so-called civil libertarian community. All of a sudden, silence from the phony journalists out there who worried about George Bush and Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon. Silence. Not a word. Obama talks endlessly about change. Only change that is authorized by the Constitution is change that is legitimate and lawful. Period. He talks about spreading the wealth. Only taxation and spending that pays for the authorized functions of government is legitimate and lawful. Period. The rest is theft of private property. He talks about giving coverage, giving care, giving rights to individuals. A president doesn't have the power to give anything, for he's taking from someone else to give to another. He has the power that is granted him in the Constitution, nothing more. Obama is a man of minimal experience and minimal accomplishment. His persona is an image created by his handlers and the media. Many voters wanted to believe he's someone who he is not. They wanted to be part of a historic moment. Instead, they contributed to something that has never happened in American history before. They put someone in office who dislikes and distrusts the very people who he was elected to serve. You see, ladies and gentlemen, that's the nature of statism. You have contempt for the people. You have contempt for what they do. You have contempt for their success. You have contempt for their voluntary dealings. And so you want to control them. We know this because we're familiar with Obama's memoirs. We're familiar with his friends and his advisors. We're familiar with his statements, past and present. And we're familiar with his agenda. Like a dictator in some banana republic, Obama nationalized General Motors and Chrysler in violation of the bankruptcy laws. He took over large ownership positions in hundreds of banks, including banks that didn't want any government involvement. He seeks to nationalize the oil and gas and coal industries through cap and trade, because that's what that is. So he can control the electricity and oil and gas that flows to your home, to your automobiles, to your place of work. He seeks to nationalize the healthcare industry to control the very health and welfare of every citizen. He's targeted business executives while promoting union bosses. He seized the Treasury with his congressional allies to launder billions and billions of your tax dollars to his supporters and his favorite causes. And he gives endless televised speeches and makes endless campaign appearances in order to create a cult-like following. This is alien to this nation. Obama's clearest expression of contempt for his fellow Americans can be seen in his foreign policy. No mass murderer, no terrorist, no barbarian is too inhumane to reach out to and shake hands with. No regime is too brutal or repressive to negotiate with. Morality is relative. Besides, as it goes, America is an imperial superpower that has done much damage to the world and needs to be reined in. Who better to do so than Obama? And Obama lies repeatedly and effortlessly. It's so crucial that we nationalize the healthcare system that he and his cronies and all of his czars and cabinet secretaries and the thousands who work in the executive branch can't even put together an actual proposal. But that's by design. There's no single bill for the nation to focus on because Obama doesn't want a full and open debate on what his real agenda is. A single-payer, government-run healthcare system. And when the public rises up against what he and his cronies are doing in Washington, when they want to be heard, when they want to challenge their own elected representatives, Obama calls out his goons, ACORN, the NEA, SEIU, Democrat Party operatives, and so forth, to attend the town hall meetings. He calls on his media cronies to accuse American citizens of being Nazis and so forth. And of course they comply. They're always complying, if they're not outright leaving the media and joining his administration. But the American people are not stupid people. The American people have a long tradition of community activism. Oh, I don't mean of the Saul Alinsky kind. I mean of the freedom kind. You see, the difference between us and them is liberty. Liberty. Obama despises it. We believe it's God-given. We believe it's clear in the Declaration of Independence. We believe that the Constitution limits him, not us. Him and Pelosi and Reid and all the rest of them. It limits them, not you and me. And no, Mr. Obama, Ms. Pelosi, and Mr. Reid, while we Americans have very strong differences with one another from time to time, we will not allow you to turn us into your playthings. We will not allow you to turn one against the other to cause us to hate each other. We will not allow you to cause us to hate oil companies, and insurance companies, and coal companies, and anything else that you can put up there to divert attention from what's going on. Your subterfuge of the law and the Constitution, your attempts to seize our private property, and worse yet, your attempts to diminish our liberty. You see, no oil company, no coal company, no gas company, no insurance company can do all those things. And yet Obama, Pelosi, and Reid think they can. We're not going anywhere. You smear us, you diminish us, you continue to expand our numbers. You're bought and paid for goons, Acorn, NEA, and SEIU. They number in the millions. We number in the tens of millions. Tens of millions. Tens of millions. Tens of millions. Tens of millions.